Hey guys, welcome to the CO visit. Colin here, always my trusty coffee. Well, I want to thank everybody always and once again clicking on this video and being with me here and going on this journey with me. Well, as you might have seen maybe in the community post or in the title of this video, being triggered as a ex-Jehovah's Witness. I'm sure it's something that probably happens to many of you, maybe for different reasons, maybe it's different things. And I decided to talk about this and kind of open up to some of the struggles that I have. This is not easy for any of us, and I'm reminded of that every day almost. And just when you think that you get to a certain stage in your life and you reach a certain level and you think that all those things are in the past and it doesn't affect me anymore, and I've moved on with my life, something happens and it brings you right back. And then I realize that I'm pretty much just that same little kid born into the Jehovah's Witness organization that was indoctrinated all of those years. And you know what, guys? I don't know if it's ever really possible, 100% possible, to completely get rid of all of those things when being in the organization formed a part of my physical, mental, and emotional formation since I was born. And so today that happened to me again after a long time. Hasn't happened, but just one of those things where I kind of sit back and go, wow. And the area that I work in at the school it's a certain area where there's several teachers in this one floor, and so we have this chat group just for that group of teachers. It's just official things, just work things, and sometimes when they want to celebrate something or things like that. So anyway, one of the teachers sent a message to this group this morning and said that one of the teachers, it's actually a counselor, she had her birthday on Saturday, and so this teacher bought a cake, and she wanted to know if who else wanted to celebrate and pitch in to help pay for the cake that she bought and all this stuff. And so she was kind of asking for volunteers, and I guess I was caught off guard by the way I was feeling and the way I was reacting to that, seeing it, because immediately when I saw that, I was just like, I was like the porcupine, like, yeah, like, or a cat, bristling up and getting defensive and wanting to, like, nah, I don't wanna be a part of it. Because the truth of the matter is, guys, and I think I've mentioned this before, is that even after all of these years, more than 10 years now outside of the organization, Um, I still don't have any emotions. I don't have any emotional response at all. Excitement, desire when it comes to celebrations and like birthdays and things like that. And my reaction is always been one of, I guess, probably like when I was a witness my whole life, to just kind of disappear, step out of the way, don't involve me. And I'm doing all that, and then all of a sudden it kind of just wow, and I realized what I was feeling and what this response that was happening to me. And I sat down, and I just felt this wave of really sadness. I mean, like tragic, that this is what I am. This is who I am. And I don't know if that's something I can ever change. I mean, I don't really I don't like people celebrating my birthday just because it doesn't mean anything to me. I never celebrated one my entire life growing up. So for me, there was no emotional attachment to those kinds of celebrations. Never. Zero. Everything around the celebrations, the holidays, birthdays, um, it was all negative. It was all, that's wrong, that's pagan, we don't do that, witnesses don't do that. Um, that's not what Jehovah wants. If we do that, you're being disobedient to Jehovah. To the extent of that was, a birthday would be like participating in false religion. It was apostasy. You could be disfellowshipped for doing such things, celebrating Christmas and all of that. And I don't know why, guys. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's personal. I haven't had so much trouble adapting to, let's say, like celebrating Christmas. That was relatively easy. Maybe because Christmas doesn't revolve around me. That transition was pretty easy. But the birthdays, wow. I still have a real problem with that. Just because, like I said, when you're growing up as a child, most children, a birthday is something where there's excitement, there's happiness, they're excited about it, right? My birthday's coming up. What are they going to do? What are you going to get me? I never had that. Never had it. And I never grew up around that. I never went to parties, never at school. We were always set apart whenever there was a birthday in class or anything like that. And that caused a lot of traumatic memories for me as well, being physically taken out of class and put in another room by myself when I was very young. And it was kind of scary sometimes when I was young, when I was growing up. And so I guess it just, I don't find any joy in it. I really don't mind, like with my family, participating in their birthdays and everything, but I don't like it when people do it for me. In fact, um, I just told I talked to the other teachers, and I just said, I said I'm not going to participate, and I said I would appreciate it if you didn't celebrate mine either, because I'm just not. I said it's a long story, but just, and that's the truth, guys. It's the truth. It's like people say, oh, you should try to get into it and stuff. What for? I'm 44 years old. I have at this point in life, why? Why? You know, all the years when it made a difference, I couldn't do it. And now at my age, I don't want to. It just, but I think it's sad. I look at that objectively and I think, how sad. How sad to take that away from a young one, to deny them the experiences and the joy in their lives of something as simple as a birthday, getting a present, unwrapping a present. I never knew what any of those things were. Getting a gift at Christmas time, waking up in the morning on Christmas Day and wanting to run to the living room or, go see the tree and see what presents were there. Never got to do that. And guys, these are real mental and emotional responses that are created in us by the practices of this cult. It's real. The responses are real, the feelings are real, or the lack of feelings, whichever one. And also the doubt sometimes and the guilt that you drag behind you, related with all of those things. It just, when that's been instilled in you since you were born, you just can't turn it off. It doesn't just go away. Maybe the instances are less and less as you get older, but those things it always comes back to rear its ugly head sooner or later. And I look at other people and I see how they respond to, to me, it just seems so alien. It seems so, I just can't understand it, because I watch other people and I mean, I get it. Intellectually, I get it, but emotionally, I can't, get into it and see like how other people are so excited about birthdays and other things. But this is reality, guys. It's reality. This is what happens when you're raised in a high control group in a cult. We are the product of that time when we were part of the organization. I'm a product of the time that I was in the organization. I'm sure, looking at how things are now, young people will have maybe quite a different experience. But with that, well, those experiences, I'll make another video in the next one where I'll talk about another experience that I had like that with my dad one time that really upset me. It was a few years ago, but uh, stand by on that one. I'll tell you in the next video. But anyway, thank you guys for being here with me and listening to this experience and story, and I hope it resonates with some of you. Tell me your experiences down in the comments. See you in the next one, and be blessed, everybody.